All right. Okay, so I think we're recording and I see some more people hopping on, which is awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and get started because we decided kind of last minute to switch up what we're going to talk about today. So we're going to do about half just on live video and giving some tips and tricks. And I have some statistics that might change your mind about whether should I use live video or not. And then Kat is going to use the last half to talk a little bit about another form of live that is Instagram stories / maybe Snapchat, whatever is kind of your cup of tea. And I know that in the Beachbody Champions page, they have been doing a phenomenal job of expanding your social media. And Kat is going tomorrow. Is that right? So she's going to be going tomorrow to talk about Snapchat, which is going to be super exciting because there's like thousands and thousands of coaches. You're not nervous at all, are you, Kat? She's probably super nervous. I would be. Yeah.
Not as bad as I'll probably be really nervous tomorrow. Every day that goes by, I'm like, oh, 2 more days, 2 more days, 1 more day, tomorrow.
So what she has to say, you guys, is super valuable. So one thing before I begin, I remember whenever I was talking to my coach, Shauna, and I was really in that first year. In the first year of coaching, I will be 100% honest, is tough. It's one of those things where you're like, I don't even know if this is what I'm supposed to be doing. I don't know what I'm doing. Like, it's really rough, that first year coaching. For all of us, it has been. Not saying we didn't see success, but it was like, you just question yourself a lot. And I remember her saying all the time, like, Megan, you need to be doing video. Megan, you need to be doing video. And I just kind of ignored it. I was not being coachable. I was not even paying attention to her. I was like, yeah, someday I'll just keep doing my thing. I'll keep doing my thing that isn't working, you know? And I now realize how frustrating that is when I am trying to coach new coaches. There's something about your upline, your mentor, whoever it might be, that might see something in you that maybe you don't see in yourself. And then I realized, oh, maybe this whole like video thing actually is legit and I probably should be doing. So I'm going to try to go through a couple of statistics with you guys. I don't have slides. I have one slide that I want you guys to see, but most of it is just, you have to do it is the only thing. Like, there isn't necessarily a right or wrong way. Like, I'm going to show you how I do live video, but there's super successful people out there that don't follow this and they just get on and they just start talking or they just show something and it's successful. So the main thing with video is finding what works for you and honestly finding what you're most comfortable doing, because if you're comfortable doing it, you'll do it more often. Okay. And that's the key with video, is just getting on more often. I will be the first to admit that I've slacked. I try to do at least 1 a week. Because if I do 1 a week, that's 52 videos that my followers can go back and look at, because that's what they do. If I go to someone's page, I go and I look at their videos. I don't look at their photos. I go and I watch a couple of their videos because I want to say, hey, do I like them? Do I connect with them? And there's nothing more powerful than you talking or you acting and doing things that connects people with you. So it's all about that know, like, and trust factor. Okay, so couple stats with you guys about live video. Facebook live videos are watched 3 times longer than regular video. And I am not against regular video. I will do a mixture of both. I like regular video for if I'm showing workouts, and I like live for if I'm talking and interacting with people, but it could be used for both. Users comment on live video 10 times the rate of regular video. There are 1.71 billion users, active users on Facebook. And whenever I talk about Facebook, they include stats for Instagram on there also, okay, because it's owned by the same company. So 1.75 billion users, you might be able to find someone that connects with you in your story, possibly. I don't know, crazy stat. Users spend an average of 50 minutes a day. 50 minutes a day on Facebook. That includes Instagram and Messenger. And they've noticed a 360% increase in video, people watching video. Crazy. Video posts have 135% increase in organic, that means not page reach, than photos. So video has 135% increase in organic reach, meaning people that see your stuff, versus photos. So video is where it's at. Not saying don't do photos, but try to do at least a video a week. Like, that's a very reasonable, normal goal, I would say. Okay, so let's get into some nitty gritty. I would love to know in the comments below, like, what is it that's keeping you from doing video? Is it, I don't know what to say? Yeah, Kat, what you got?
What I know, this is a question I get asked a lot from my coaches, is when is the best time to go live on your page?
Okay, so honestly, I notice, and maybe this is just like my mindset thing, so the best time to get people on your live is probably later in the evening. If I wait until 7 or 7:30 though to do a live video, I'm probably not going to do it. Just because that's when I'm with Zach, that's when we're doing family time, that's when I'm relaxing. So the big thing with live video though is it's not dead after you're live. People catch on once you are once you're done with it and once you posted it. That's when the reach starts happening. I don't have more than, like, I don't know, usually 30, 40 people on my live, but then it'll reach out to thousands of people. So honestly, I don't think it really matters.
I did a questionnaire on my page it was a few weeks ago, and I was like, hey, when's the best time for me to go live? And I had a bunch of people respond, and a lot of them said around 8 p.m. my time, Central Time. And that, I mean, I do think that when you're on a time that more people are on, it's going to get more of an organic reach just because there's more interaction. And Facebook thinks, oh, well, she's getting a lot of interaction while she's live. We're going to show that to a lot more people. So I think it does make a difference. But if it's going to keep you from going live, then don't not do it because it's not a certain time. Yeah. But I do think if you go live, say like my time, 8 p.m., which I hate because I like doing it when it's natural lighting. And of course my husband's usually home at that time. And so I don't want to go live in the evenings, but I get a lot better response and I get a lot more views and a lot more people seeing it and interacting than when I go live, say 9 o'clock in the morning. So
maybe it depends on like your topic. Like, especially if you are kind of going live in an intent to talking about an accountability group at the end, definitely do it when you have lots of reach, I would say. But if it's more of like an educational thing or something like that, then I don't think it matters as much.
Yeah. And also don't, unless you just have a lot of time, don't waste your time with Instagram Live, because if you're on, like, that's the only time, and those people are the only ones that'll see it. Facebook, it posts to your page and it's there forever. Instagram Live, it's one and done. Like, so don't invest a lot of time in Facebook or Instagram Live. Just saying.
That's good to know, because I was kind of wondering about that feature, and I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's okay to connect with your followers, but I wouldn't go and do like an hour-long live video or something, maybe a short and sweet. But for the most part, like, because a lot of people won't even, be on, because it's only then, like you said, like only maybe 40 people will be on watching live. Well, then you'll have thousands later on watch it. Well, then you're really only going to have those 40 people see it on Instagram versus Facebook, where you'll have a lot more people and it'll be there forever. So
yeah, I like that for sure. Okay, so I'm going to cover just a couple of things. One of them is like coming up with a topic, because I find my biggest excuse is I don't know what to talk about. I don't know what to post about. Your title and how important a really catchy title, like the little thing that you type on top of your video, how important that is. And I have a resource for that I want to show you guys. And then introducing yourself and then just asking questions. So coming up with a topic, my best thing is, honestly, I'm kind of an off the cuff kind of girl. So if I have an idea, I'll do the video. I've had a successful one recently that was about like having really easy, simple prep ideas. So I talked about like, one was a crock pot idea and the other one was like just something on like the George Foreman. And so it was like really simple. Like basically it was like, stop using meal prep as your excuse and just make it bare bones, keep it as simple as possible. And that just came to me whenever I was making lunch and I was like, this is so easy. Why aren't people doing this? And so a lot of it will come, but what I'll do is I'll go through my messages and I'll look through what are people saying are their biggest struggles. And I'll try to come up with video ideas based on, these are the people I'm talking to. They are telling me, here's what I struggle with. I can give them these 3 tips to help them specifically with that struggle. Okay, so you have to really, they are giving you the content. You just have to go and get it from your conversations is a big way that I come up with my content. But honestly, a lot of it just comes to me when I'm doing personal development, when I'm going through my own day-to-day health journey. What's your title? They have to be specific and very catchy. That is what people say, oh, I'm going to click on this video and actually listen to her, or I'm just going to let it play and I'll just watch her hands moving like crazy is basically what I do in my videos. So you do want them to click on the video and actually listen to what you have to say. And the title is what's going to do that. So I'm not going to show it right now, but it is going to be in the thing. I can show it at the end, but I have a resource from when I did my Angie Lee training, and it just has words that are, she called them sexy words, but they're basically just words that are used often that are going to grab people's attention. So I'm going to click on it just so that I can give you a couple examples of them. But they're words like explore, gain, learn, discover, master, attract, shrink, grow, and then secret, glowing, bold, clear. And so it's kind of like you just try to throw these words. You might say, do you want to gain something? Do you want to shrink your tummy? Or, 5 foods to eat to shrink your tummy, or whatever it is that your people come to you looking for. Those are just words that will kind of grab their attention and are kind of like, I don't know what you want to call them. She called them sexy words. We'll call them sexy words. Anyways, so the title, short, to the point. Questions are good. Secrets to whatever, so keep it engaging in the title. I always start by kind of rehashing what I'm going to talk about. I introduce myself and what I do. You always want to hit on what it is that you do, because otherwise people are like, well, who is this person? Why should I even listen to her? So I always, my name is Megan Seals. I help women do this to this. So very short and very sweet. And then trying to ask questions throughout is huge. You want, like Kat said, you want people to be commenting. So you want to ask questions, or is this something that you guys struggle with? Or where are you from? Or anything that'll get them to comment. The more comments you get, the more organic reach, which means it's going to be going out to other people. The whole point of social media, having other people eyeing this. A lot of times at the end, I will say, if this was super helpful for you, please share this to your page, or comment and, tag someone below that you think will also do this or also struggles with this or would benefit from this. you have to ask people to do the things that you want them to do, or they probably won't do it.
Okay. Last night I was watching a live video. It was for like LuLaRoe, and it was really, I mean, it was just LuLaRoe. But anyway, so she gets on there and she was like, hey guys, please share, and we're going to do a giveaway at the very end, which I thought, oh, that's a really good idea, because one, that gets people to share, and then at the end, I mean, that keeps them watching until the very end. So I'm like, that's going to get your engagement like way up, especially like on LuLaRoe videos are super long, but she'll be like, well, we're going to do a giveaway, but you have to be on at the very end. So something like that.
Cool. Did she have them comment below, like tag someone below, or how did she?
I think it shows shares.
Okay.
Like, but everyone was like shared. So
okay. I gotcha. That's cool. Yeah. That's good to know. I like that.
That's a good idea. I mean, I wouldn't do it all the time, but maybe on a live video that you really wanted a lot of people to see.
Mm-hmm. Especially one where you have like a call to action at the end. That would be huge for sure. Okay. This is probably really simple, but so important. You have got to show your personality, and you have to act like you are happy about what you're talking about. So I have this cheesy big smile in all my live videos. My hands are flying if you've seen it. Like, I'm very excited. I'm amped. I probably just took my Energize is probably what happens. But you have got to, if you're doing live video, I don't care what you're talking about. Like, you have to show some emotion. So if you're talking about something serious, you need to not just have this really straight face and be talking like this. Because the first thing people see is you and your body and your energy, because they can't hear it. Okay, so Facebook does not, unless you click on it, you can't hear what they're saying. So you definitely have to do that. Be happy, be smiling. Okay, so how do I keep track of live video? I usually do write out notes. They don't look like this, but I do write out like little bullet points of like, especially if I'm listing like top 5, blah, blah, blah. I'll put those out so it gives me a guide, and that's just my comfort zone. Like, that's how I keep track and I keep on time. Try to keep them around 5 minutes, give or take some. Like, really, if it's too long, you put too much content in there and you need to make another video about that topic. Okay, so I'm going to shift over to Kat, and she's going to kind of talk a little bit about another live form, but maybe a little less intimidating. So maybe if live video is super intimidating to you, first of all, like, face the fear and just do it anyways. But this might be a little, because you can exit out and then you can re-record if you mess up. So anyways, take it away, Kat. Couples.
My husband's like over here dancing with shorts on. Okay. Anyway, so stop. Go away. Okay, so I'm really excited to share with you guys. And like she said, corporate asked me to share tomorrow. So this is a little good test run for me because I need that. But Snapchat and Instagram stories, you guys, is really where it's at. And I've heard so many times people say, well, Snapchat's a waste of time. I remember someone told me that Snapchat was a waste of time. And I just remember saying, no, like, I think this is going to be huge. I think that if we use this, it's going to be a tool to where people can see, like, just the real side of us. And so many times on Instagram, you just see like a pretty picture and, but you don't really feel like you know that person. But when you're on Snapchat or Instagram stories, you really feel like, hey, like a day in the life of this person. And so I always try to share just as much realness as possible of kind of behind the scenes of what I do. So whether that be like trip to the post office or what I do as a coach, doing live video or calls, or as far as the coaching aspect, I share about that. I share about what we do in the challenge groups, or I'll talk about my challengers and how they're rocking out the challenge. But then I have to make sure you have to have a balance on Snapchat and Instagram stories. You have to have a balance between kind of behind the scenes, what I do as a coach, what I do as for my challenge groups, but also adding value into people's lives. So whether that be posting a recipe or talking about, hey, this is what I'm making, this is what I'm doing. It can be whatever, but adding value into people's lives. I know we say that all the time, but again, what is it? Jonah Berger says people only follow you for two reasons, for entertainment or education. And most of us are not entertaining enough alone to hold our followers' interest. We have to be educational. So we have to add value into people's lives, whether that, again, through recipes is one of the best things. A lot of my followers just love to know what I'm eating. I get asked all the time, what are you eating? What are you eating? And I'm like, I basically eat, what I eat is so basic. So I try to share as much as possible for recipes, and people love workouts. I know I'm always getting asked, like, what do you do for your workouts? Well, I just do the Beachbody workouts, but maybe I'll do a certain move. Yes.
Okay, so will you just break that down a little bit? How do you share your recipes on, say, Instagram stories? Like, how do you?
So it's kind of a mix. Sometimes I will do a video and I'll be like, okay, step by step. Like, for instance, I get asked a lot about my Brussels sprout recipe because it's like, oh, this is my favorite thing. And people are like, how? It's so disgusting. And so many times I see people make them wrong and they're like, these are disgusting. I'm like, well, it's because you made them wrong. But I do step by, like I did that step by step. This is what you do. Because most of the time people undercook them. Well, sometimes I will actually so I'll be like, this is what I'm making, or I've made this and it's delicious. And then I will say, if you want this recipe, screenshot the next image. And so it's crazy how many people, and this is how I know people love my recipes, because I get hundreds of people will screenshot my recipes if I tell them on the next thing. So that's one way that I'll share them. So it just kind of depends. I'll do a video. Depending on how short it is, I'll do a video, or I'll just say, here's the recipe. People love quick and simple recipes. 5 ingredients or less. Like, people eat that up, especially, you guys, people eat up healthy sweets. So anything that's like a dessert, whatever, people love it. So that's one thing I share a lot of on social media, or on Snapchat, Instagram stories. And then third would be just tips and tricks of how to eat healthy, how to stay motivated. A lot of times it just kind of comes to me as I'm doing it. I'm like, oh, I could share this. Or say I'm struggling and I did not want to work out that day, and then I'll give a little tip. I try to keep it as short and sweet, maybe 3 10-second videos on Snapchat, if possible, as much as possible. My biggest live videos. Yes, seriously, people love sweets and desserts that are healthy. So that's basically what I do to share on Snapchat. Again, make sure that you're adding plenty of value, but also showing your lifestyle, what we do as coaches, how amazing our lives are now, how happy you are. Just like she said with sharing a live video, make sure you're excited that you're, I see so many people are like, yeah. I'm just like, what? Why aren't you excited? I don't want to listen to your boring face. So make sure that you're excited when you're making videos. I know I have a hard time with it because I'm not an exciting person in real life. And so it's really hard for me. So I have to just pull it out of me. I have to just be excited as I possibly can, because I want to get my followers engagement. Okay, so Snapchat, a lot of people say, one reason that people said it would never go anywhere, especially for business, is because you can't organically get followers, or you can't pay to get followers. You have to basically cross-market yourself, because there's no way to be like, okay, search for blah, blah, or whatever, or you go search for people, and then they follow you back or whatever. It's basically they have to have your handle and come follow you. or they're not going to find you. And so what I have done, and I think this is one of the reasons that corporate has asked me to do it, I guess, I don't really know. But basically, I have different methods of how I get people to come find me on Snapchat. And basically, a lot of people are like, well, okay, so you have, like, what's the point if they're following you on Instagram or they're following you on Facebook? Why would you want them to follow you on Snapchat? Well, you want as much exposure as possible, because the more you're in front of somebody's face and the more they're seeing their eyes, the more that they're seeing you, the more they're going to get to know you. They're going to feel comfortable with you. They're going to trust you to be their coach. So the more exposure, it doesn't matter what platform it is, the more exposure you have, the more trust they're going to trust you to be their coach. So, or join your team. So make sure, like, to me, Snapchat is so important. You would not believe how many of my followers on Snapchat have become my challengers or my coaches, because I feel like, too, with Snapchat, there's no like algorithm like Instagram or Facebook has, where they're like, oh, we're only going to show you to this amount of people. It's, hey, whoever's on, like, whoever made the last video on Snapchat or whoever posted last on Snapchat, that's who's going to be seen. And so the more too you post on Snapchat, so I try and post like every hour, 2 hours. So I'm always bumping up to the top of the feed. So more and more people, and I do, like, the more I post on Snapchat, the more people see my stuff. So that's very important too. But anyway, so I have to cross market myself, and there's different ways that I do that. So one way that I do that, and I get followers on my Snapchat, I usually get like 3 to 10 people a day, just kind of depends, but every day I'm getting new followers on Snapchat. And so I cross market by one, on my Instagram, on my main handle, like, it has my name, but under my name, I have Cat Meets Kill, and then the little ghost, and then Snapchat, little ghost, Cat Meets Kill. So even when they're like typing in my name, they see Snapchat, or when they go to my profile, they see Snapchat. And so I think that has to be one of the biggest ways that people find me on Snapchat, because, I mean, like I said, I'm consistently getting new followers every single day. Then the second way, what I do is, if I ever have a sneak peek or I run a free group or anything, I'll be like, hey, follow me on Snapchat so you can get a behind the scenes look at what I do. And they may not sign up as a coach or sign up as a challenger in that sneak peek or that free group, but they're going to be following me now on Snapchat because they're going to see me popping up every single day in their feed. So I'm getting that exposure. Another way is just posting on Instagram or Facebook. So I've done it several times where it's like my Snapchat logo and then a picture of me, and it says follow me on Snapchat for more behind the scenes or whatever. And I've actually boosted that or did that like as an ad, and then I'll get like hundreds of followers just from doing that on a certain day, like whatever. I haven't done it in a long time, but in the beginning I did it quite a bit. And the only reason that I boosted it or paid for it to show people is because when you post about Snapchat or Instagram, when you ever say like any kind of social media handle, Facebook and Instagram will actually limit your views on how many people see it. So if you're ever making a post and say, follow me on Snapchat, they will actually limit your views. Doesn't even matter if the whole thing isn't even really about Snapchat. You just basically maybe at the end say, follow me on Snapchat. They will literally limit your views. So that's one reason, like, I will make a specific post and say, hey, follow me on Snapchat. Also, when you're doing live videos or stuff like that, that's another way you can say, hey, follow me on Snapchat for more behind the scenes, or Instagram story for more behind the scenes of what I do. I believe that Snapchat is not going anywhere. People love Snapchat because it's raw and real. And here's the difference too. I know that girl did for corporate or whatever, the whole Beachbody champion, she did a deal about Instagram stories, but people actually love Snapchat more. And I think this is a reason why, is because Snapchat is so much more real. Like, people can take a picture on Instagram stories and put it on their Instagram story. and they can edit it, they can do whatever they want. Snapchat, they have to be raw and real, and that you will find that not a lot of makeup artists or a lot of like fitness people don't like Snapchat because it's that way. So people love the fact that people are raw and real on Snapchat, and that's different even from Instagram stories. So I think that's too why it's so important. And to be honest, I don't spend a lot of extra time. Basically, whatever I post on Snapchat is the exact same thing I post on Instagram stories. So I'm not wasting any extra time except for like the time that it takes to upload it to Instagram stories. But I will literally take a video on Snapchat or a picture on Snapchat and take the exact same content and go put it on Instagram stories, because it's two different things. Different people are seeing it. So I'm not wasting any more time by doing both. But I do think that Snapchat is very important. So that's basically what I have. Do you guys have any questions?
I like it, Kat. I like it. I think my best advice is to try something. So if you're like, oh my gosh, I'm not doing any of these things now, I need to get on Snapchat, I need to do this, I need to do that, I need that. No, but you do need to try something. So there is power. I saw a huge shift when I started doing videos, especially when I started doing live videos. I had all kinds of people coming to me, not me reaching out to them coming to me saying, I saw your video about blah, 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 blah. I saw your video about this. I also deal with that, okay? They didn't say I saw your post about whatever. They said I saw your video. And I'm sure Kat gets the same thing of people saying, hey, I saw this, or, you know, whatever. When she can see people screenshotting what she posts about, you know, and you can do that, right? Like it shows you how many people took a screenshot of it. That's huge. And it could be something so simple of a step-by-step of how to make Shakeology even. Like that, you know, I've seen people do that, and it's just, people don't know how to, you know, especially in your groups, especially if you have people in your groups following you, that's huge to show them how to do that. So.
And on Snapchat, if someone takes a screenshot, it tells you who it is. So that could be another way that you could reach out to people and say, hey, I saw you took a screenshot on my recipe. If you ever need any more ideas or would like to be a part of one of my challenge groups, just let me know. I would love to have you. I mean, it doesn't have to be really, you know.
I love that. Okay, so homework coming up. Okay, so I'm actually going to challenge each of you guys, because I know each of y'all are on Facebook. I'm going to challenge you to do a live video. If you need ideas, post in the group. Hey, you guys, I would really love to do a live video because I'm a good student and I do my homework. What are some ideas? And we can always brainstorm ideas with you. You know, I have Elena is my live video guru. She's always asking me, did you do a live video? Did you do one this week? Did you do one this week? And I'm like, I can't come up with an idea. No, I didn't do one because I can't come up with an idea. So it's very normal to have that mental block and to think you can't come up with an idea. And she'll be like, well, what about this? What about if you talk about this? So first of all, like, if you don't have an accountability partner, you need to be having someone that you're brainstorming with, that you are hashing out, that you can have those real conversations of, I know I need to do this, but I don't know. Okay. And find someone who's going to be positive. Don't find someone who's going to give in to your excuses. Find someone who is going to be like, yeah, no. Okay. Because you want someone that's going to push you. But post in the group, come up with some ideas. You know, if you want to dabble with Snapchat or Instagram stories, I highly recommend it. Honestly, I just have a lot of fun with it. There is no strategy at all that I have with those things. They are fun to me, and they can be fun. You can either see them as intimidating, or you can see them as like, oh, I'm taking a picture of my dog. Oh, I'm doing a video about the fact that I made a meal plan. You know, like, I've gotten more reaction out of like, here's my meal plan real quick. Look, I'm sharing this in my next group. Oh, hey, my next slide is, you can join me. I have one person left. Oh, my next slide is, message me if you want to join our group. and so just those little things can make the world of a difference for sure. So I think we're good if we don't have any questions. All righty. Thanks you guys for waking up early with us and hopping on the call and spending some time with us this morning, and talk to y'all later. See ya.